Okay, and you guys can take a look at that. So fractures, one of the things I want you guys to remember when it comes to fractures is the different types. So transverse, okay, that kind of makes sense. It means across. Displaced, you can see that it's no longer in the regular position. Compression, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Spiral fracture, it looks like a spiral. Epiphyseal. So here's one thing that I do want to talk about. In epiphyseal plate, didn't I say that that's the place? That's the metaphysis. That's the location where you have continued growth. What happens if I was to fracture at that line in a child who is 4 feet? What would happen to that side or that bone? Let's say it's in the femur. What's going to happen to that person? Well, they're going to have stunted growth, at least in that femur. They're no longer going to have bone growth unless it resets and somehow it's able to heal on its own. So this one, epiphyseal plate fracture, there's the potential for stunted growth because you lose the metaphysis and you lose the epiphyseal plate. Okay, so this next one, these ones are pretty fun for us to memorize, not necessarily for them to get. But if you've ever played with yellow bamboo, so yellow bamboo, right, versus green bamboo, which one is younger? Well, green bamboo is younger, yellow bamboo is older. What's the difference between the two? If you've tried to break yellow bamboo and you snap it, it splinters. What happens if you try and break green bamboo? Well, green bamboo is younger, it's more flexible. So even if you try and break it, one side will break, the other side will just stay really, really flexible. So same thing with young children. If you think about young children, they have a lot of cartilage left over. So the cartilage is flexible. So if you look at this, how do you remember that this is seen in young children? Because in a green stick, you have flexibility. One side will break, but the other side will remain flexible. And then Colles fracture and Pott's fracture, just remember this. What do you use to reach for your collar? Well, you use your hands. So your hands are closer to your collar. And then when you walk on the road and you step in a pothole, what do you step in the pothole with? Your feet. So Pott's fracture occurs closer to the feet, and Colles fracture occurs closer to the hands. So let's take a look at what we have. So Colles fracture, this is with the radius and then the ulna, right? So this is in the hands. You can see the carpal bones here. And then Pott's fracture, you stepped in a pothole, so you have fracture closer to the feet. These are the ankle bones, and this is the tibia because it's thick, the fibula because it's fragile.